have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nandekano. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
An international affairs analyst, Mr. Chukwuma Okoro. Good afternoon, Mr. Chukwuma. Happy Easter.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Same here. Happy Easter.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
All right. Before we head into the analysis segment fully, I want to actually play a clip. This was posted 2 days ago by a television platform where Dati Baba Ahmed, who was Peter Obi's running mate in the 2023 presidential election, where he actually went for an interview. And here's what he had to say about President Tinubu, the chances of his emergence as president, or the chances for him winning a second term in 2027. Let's take a listen.
I expect Tinubu to throw in the towel if he is that smart politician that he turns out to be. You know me, I say the truth. For someone to have organized 2007, culminating in his electoral heist in 2023, that person must be super smart politician. I'm not praising him at all. It's not good to be what really he is that I don't want to say. But look, he skipped 2007 and jokingly made Atiku candidate, made Ribadu and somebody 11, made Buhari in 15, Buhari won, and then skipped 2019 and then stole 2023. If he is that smart, everything is there for him that he's going to lose 2027. If he is that smart, because everything is there. There are two possible candidates that I cannot mention, and they are the nemesis of Tinubu. Tinubu's time has come. It has been proven that APC is a lie. Buhari did not develop Nigeria. Buhari did not provide security. Buhari did not fight corruption. Neither will Tinubu ever do this. So going forward, I see APC losing this election. I see Nigerians somehow uniting. Listening to what someone like me is saying that, look, if you cannot practice this democracy, it's not for you. And then Nigerians will decide to come out and practice democracy for the first time. And then bad leadership will begin to have no hiding place in Nigeria. And then gradually we'll begin to heal our land. We'll begin to recover. We'll begin to unite and take each other's as fellow Nigerians.
All right, you heard that, Mr. Chukwuma Okoro. If we lump this with what would I say his relative, because they share a name, Hakim Baba Ahmed, who was President Tinubu's former political advisor, said about the fact that no one can win the presidency without the North. There is no gainsaying the fact that many northern elements, many people in the north seem to be disgruntled with this current administration and the fact that the Muslim ticket has not favored them in the way that they thought it would. But then this begs the question, when these people keep coming out and say, oh, the north remembers, in 2027 we'll pay you back, no one can win the presidency without the north. Does that mean that someone can win the presidency without the support or the votes of the south?
I was taken aback when I heard that statement because it reeks of arrogance. It reeks of ignorance too. I mean, why can somebody say that nobody can win the presidency without the support of the North? Can anybody in the North win the presidency without the support of the South? What is 2/3 of 36? What is 2/3 of 36? 2/3 of 36 is about 26. How many states are there up north? 19 states. So how feasible, how possible is it that somebody from the north is going to win 26 states and win just 19 states and become the president of this country? It's a statistical impossibility. It cannot happen. Even 2/3 of 19 that they used to do abracadabra in 1979, that is going to it defies the same logic. So when they say that, look, it speaks to the arrogance of the North, the audacity of the North. And that is exactly what is fueling the crisis in this country. That is what is fueling the division. When a certain group of people feel that, look, without us, this country cannot move on. How much of that happened between 2015 and 2019? How much support did they give Buhari? And how much did Buhari fare? How better did he fare in running the affairs of this country? So you see that it's more like a clear gang up, against the South. Look, we are dissatisfied. Were they satisfied when Buhari was in government? They were satisfied because he probably handed over the commanding heights of our national life to the North in terms of security appointments within the security architecture. So in all of that, how did it not fare? How much did it not fare? They still have the highest number of out-of-school children. They still have the poorest of the poor. Over 64 years of independence, the North has ruled for 46 years. And still, in all economic indices, the North still looks down. It's still taking a southwards trend. So, of what advantage has that been to them? So, it clearly smacks of the arrogance, that, by the way, the North is not even a monolith unit anymore, like it used to be.
People the North is also divided amongst themselves.
It's divided among themselves, like clearly the middle belt is clearly no longer part of the corner. The oligarchy, the oligarchic North, they are beginning to lose that grip. If you look at what happened between 2019 and 2023, for the first time, a Buhari's convoy was stoned in the North. For the first time during the End Bad Governance protest, people converged in front of the Sultan's house. Who does that before? That is to tell you that, look, the change, in society is always dynamic, by the way, but the change might be piecemeal, but it's beginning to happen. The North also is having a sprinkle of educated middle class that is beginning to say, look, things cannot continue in this direction. People like Dati Baba Ahmed that just spoke now, he clearly belongs to the upper middle class of the North, and they are beginning to say, look, we need to change the narrative in favor of our people. So that is what is happening. So for his cousin, his relative, to come and say, look, nobody can win the presidency without the support of the North. I want him to understand that nobody in this country can win the presidency without the support of Nigerians, North and South, East, West, and all parts of the country.
He said in the next 6 months, the North will decide where it stands. If the rest of the country wants to join us, fine. If not, we'll go our own way. But one thing is clear, no one can become president of Nigeria without Northern support. We want a government that understands our problems and can address them. After Buhari's 8 years, we became wiser. Now we're in another government, we're still crying. Is crying all we know how to do? This is a question he was asking. But one would wonder why, after Buhari's first term, they did not become wiser until after Buhari packed up and left.
Exactly the point. So how much of that, how much did they benefit from the Buhari administration? Can they say that? They just want to hold power for the sake of power. They just want to hold power for the sake of it. They are not doing anything with it. Nothing. They still favor the upper class in the North. In terms of when they get the power, they give political appointment, they scatter political appointment between the few elites in the North. What happens to the average Northerner? What happens to him? Is he more educated now? I just said something about the out-of-school children. The number is still highest in the North. In places like Zamfara, places like Jigawa State, They are still posting the highest figures in terms of out-of-school children. So what is the benefit of all that power that they've had? And why are they looking for it? But what this thing tells me is that they are also feeding from the division in the south, between the southwest and the southeast. Because if the southwest and southeast and south-south are able to come together, also break the north, the middle belt in particular, take Adamawa, take Taraba, take Benue, take Plateau. Look at what is happening in Benue Plateau. That has clearly been turned into a killing field. What are they doing? Who are killing them? The very people from the upper north that they say we are one are the ones killing them. So do you think they are going to tie with them in 2027? Except maybe something like manipulation of votes. Let me ask you, how many states did Peter Obi win in the north? In clear terms, in real terms, in terms of the results we saw, not the results that were declared. In terms of the results that we saw, Labour Party won here in Lagos State at the presidential poll. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the elite, they are beginning to lose the grip they had on both the north and the south, because clearly we have an educated middle class that it said, look, even in Abuja, did APC win in the FCT? They didn't win the FCT. What does that tell you? It tells you that, look, it's no longer business as usual. So, bet for the grip they have in terms of manipulation, in terms of appointments, appointing people to critical positions in election, the police and all of that. Look, they are clearly losing it.
You know, this is a political advisor that recently resigned from the presidency, and we didn't even get that report until 2 weeks after he had. Is this a clear indication that it was this disgruntlement and this fact that President Tinubu seems not to be leaning towards the north and giving them what they want? That's part of the reason why he said, you know what, I no longer want to be a part of this presidency.
As much as I don't, I prescribe the fact that, look, I'm of the, how can I put it now? Yes, I like the fact that the president is not leaning towards the north. But I'm against the fact that the president is not redistributing resources and appointments equally. He's clearly leaning towards the west, which is also an issue that people have with him. From whatever the president has taken from the north, he has dumped it in the southwest. Whatever the president has taken from the southeast, he has dumped it in the southwest. Whatever the president has taken from the south-south, he has dumped it in the southwest. Is that the way to run a country? A multi-ethnic society like we have? No, you don't do that. If you are doing that, you are not building a nation. Are we a nation or a country? We are a country, not a nation. We are multinational. We are a multi-nation state. So what the best thing that president can do is redistribute resources in terms of appointments. No matter how symbolic those things might be, distribute them appropriately. We had a president from the southwest who ran this country between 1999 and 2007. Did complaints run the air? No. Everybody was happy. We had a Yaradua who came and continued from where Obasanjo stopped in terms of distributing appointments. Jonathan did the same thing. Jonathan even favored the north. Now, Buhari made on the scene and everything turned upside down. And because things turned upside down, the agitation for self-determination spiked and it increased, both in the southeast and the southwest. Now the north is coming out again to say, look, we don't like what is going on. What didn't you like? What don't you like? Did you like it when Buhari did the same thing and you didn't complain? You guys were mute. So why are you complaining now? So that is the issue we have in Nigeria.
Let's quickly talk about the protest that is currently ongoing in Jos. Of course, last week, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Jos said they would be embarking on a protest against incessant herdsmen killings that have been occurring in that region, saying they're not happy about it. So protesters have hit the streets in their numbers, led by their religious leaders. It was very terrible because this was something that happened on a day where Christian faithfuls were actually commemorating Easter. That was last week Saturday. Yesterday made it a week when Fulani herdsmen went into the community in Bassa and Bokkos and killed a lot of people over time. In fact, between August last year, between the End Bad Governance protest in August last year till today, we're sitting right here, right now and talking. Mr. Chukwuma Okoro, if you are to use your fingers and toes to count the number of protests that have occurred for various reasons in Nigeria, you may actually exhaust the digits on your fingers and your toes and then keep counting. That is one way it seems that the people know how to express their displeasure. But over and over again, other Nigerians will ask the question, saying that Nigerians are not talking, Nigerians are not doing anything about it. We are all sitting down and looking at the country and things are everything is just everything. It seems like it's just spoiling. You know, in pidgin we say it just they spoil, they go. But then the DSS Director General has said you need to self-help. Right? T.Y. Danjuma has also said the same thing. You need to self-help. You recall we talked about this a week ago. What are the options for self-help for the people inside these villages who just want to farm and live their lives on their own?
I'm happy you recall that we spoke about it before Palm Sunday. And the Christian Association of Nigeria asked people to come out in Benue Plateau and wear black to protest on Palm Sunday. And I asked a question. I said, what if in the process these invaders also come and attack the protesters? Didn't that happen on Saturday? Like 3 days ago, it happened. So what is the essence or what is the benefit of the protest that we are talking about? The government has actually handed over to you the right to protect yourself. They said they cannot do it. They even said, look, come and talk with us. We have a provision for a certain level of arm. We can arm you to a certain level so that you are able to protect yourself and push back the invaders and push back the jihadists. So what is the essence of this protest?
But telling the people to protect themselves, is that not an admission of failure?
Is
that not an admission that the monies, the billions, millions that are being spent into buying weapons, pushed into the military security agencies, is not working?
It's an admission of failure. So having admitted that they have failed, do you still have to rely on them? What is the essence of the protest? What are you going to do to pass the message to who? You want to pass the message to the governor, who is hamstrung, who cannot do anything because he cannot even order the state police commissioner.
So you see,
you feel that
this protest is unnecessary.
The protest is clearly unnecessary. Are you protesting to a president who is in faraway London or France? Where is he now? I don't even know. So why are you protesting? So that what will happen? While you are protesting, these people are busy arming themselves to come after you again. Will you be surprised that before the end of today and tomorrow, you hear that 30 people have been massacred in cold blood in either Benue or Plateau? So what is the essence of the protest? I think the South is paying a heavy price of silence. They have kept silent for too long.
Have they really kept silent? Because if you say the South has kept silent, the governor of Plateau State recently has been very vocal, and in fact, right now he's saying this is not just a clash or just armed men killing; that this is a genocide. They're trying to phase out these people to take over their land, push out the people who are indigenous to this land, take it over, and then live there and take over the whole place. Which is why, again, you have many Nigerians believing that there is a wider agenda. There is almost nowhere you will go in this country where you won't see cows grazing. On my way to work this morning, I still saw cows grazing on International Airport Road in the middle of the pavement. How did they get there? They have to cross the road. Okay. Right? So you have all of these happening in urban areas, and it almost seems like we've been focusing too much on these herdsmen. Yes, they have been perpetrating evil, but then we also have a wider problem of terrorism. Boko Haram, ISWAP, and even the emir of the community in Kwara is saying there is a new terrorist group, even though the Kwara State Police Command came out to say there's no new terrorist group. It was just a Boko Haram member who broke away and decided to go and organize other people and now take over. Isn't that because it seems that terrorism has become a lucrative business in Nigeria?
What the guy said, I take that as sophistry, and I don't respond to sophistry. How can you say it's not a new terror group? That is a breakaway faction of what? Boko Haram. What does that tell you? It's open source. It's octopusal. You know, like a hydra-headed monster that has 10 heads now. We have ISWAP, we have Lakorawa, we have Mamuda now. You know, so I don't respond to such things. Let me ask you. You say he's been very vocal. In all the while that Autumn was vocal for 8 years, what happened? Did he stop his people from being killed? Now, let me ask you one other question, though it might be a rhetorical question. Choma, do you go to a gunfight with a knife? When you do, what happens to you? Of course, they will just shoot you and bam, you are gone. That is what the protest is all about. That is what being vocal is all about. If you are in your house and somebody comes with a gun to kill you, will you just surrender and allow the person to kill you?
But what exactly can the governors do? If you also have a gun. Mr. Okoro.
Sorry?
What exactly can the governors do?
What the governors can't do anything. I thought you asked me what the government can do. And
the state governors of these affected states,
they cannot do anything. They can't do anything. They cannot do anything. Even in Borno State, has Zulum done anything? In Ebonyi State, has Nwifuru done anything? In Enugu, has Mba done anything? In Ondo, has Ayedetuwa done anything? In Oyo, has Makinde done anything? They cannot do anything. I am telling you that we had an attack in Okpabi Nimbo. The state governor called the police commissioner. They had prior information that the attack was going to happen. The police dismissed it. And when it happened, the state governor called the commissioner of police. Commissioner of police said, let me get order from Abuja. And they put the governor online for more than 3 hours, waiting for orders. The governor was online and he never responded. They never responded to him. By the time they responded, police went there to do what? To arrest indigenous of the community. When the attackers had gone away. So what do you think that the governor can do? Until such a time that you have a state police where the governor can clearly order the state police commissioner, get into this local government, something is happening there. Go and stop that nonsense. Nothing will happen. The governors are hamstrung. They cannot do anything. So the buck stops at the desk of the central government. And if you don't mind, the presidency. That is where the buck stops. And I'm happy that our president said in 2014, he said, look, the buck stops at the desk of the president. President Goodluck Jonathan was in office there. I said, if he cannot decimate Boko Haram, let him get out of that place. Now the test of the pudding is in the eating. We have a president who is issuing orders in faraway Europe, from faraway Europe, asking the state governor, whom he clearly understands, is powerless to take decisive political action. Is that not sound bite? To give headlines to newspapers and the media? As far as I'm concerned, that amounts to some kind of being economical with the truth.
You know, while we're talking about all of this, we have former military personnel and even serving security agents within the police and the army coming out to say that they have people amongst them who are sympathetic to the cause of these terrorists. Now, you have someone who, you know, went on national radio and was talking about this, saying there was no pay, no morale from the Nigerian army, no means of communication to know that he was alive. He says he was shot by a fellow soldier and barely survived because the soldier said he was killing too many Boko Haram terrorists. Said 2 of his friends were also shot dead for killing Boko Haram terrorists, and he had to resign. And this person was a sniper. Then we have a case of a Nigerian soldier caught in Kaduna smuggling ammunition from the front line. We also have another situation whereby a policeman is crying out saying that the Nigerian government is playing politics with people's lives, and they tell them not to go after bandits and terrorists in the bush. And even if they are to go, that the weapons they are given is just like when you go to a knife fight or you go to a gunfight with a club, knowing fully well that that will not do too much for you. In the midst of all of this as well, we have Macban and others calling for a presidential order to protect herdsmen across the country. And you have Mieti Allah saying that anti-grazing is an assault on the Fulani people and they will continue to graze wherever they please. In the midst of all of this, you can see all of the different encumbrances to the achievement of peace and security.
So I don't see these things as encumbrances.
What are they?
I see them as lack of political will to do what is right. I see them. I spoke to Adewola Adebayo, the presidential candidate of the SDP in the 2023 general election. He said something that struck me. He said, look, Nigeria is a country that does not punish small crimes. And because of that, the big crimes thrive. In all that we have you seen any of these people, any of those saboteurs in the Nigerian military, in the police, in the security agencies, brought to book because they put the Nigerian soldiers in harm's way? People were killed. Now we see 390 repentant Boko Haram terrorists reintegrated into society, given 400 bags of rice, given money, clothed with bespoke clothes, and all of that. And a ceremony is done to welcome them back to society. These are people who have killed Nigerian soldiers. These are people who have killed Nigerian agents, security agents. And in all of that. So what does that tell you? It clearly tells you that, look, the central government, whoever is in charge of the central government, doesn't have the political will to solve the problem. And it also brings us to a larger question. Who is in charge? Who is clearly in charge? Do you think that the current president is in charge? Or do you think that a clique of people from the north are in charge? Because, see, we know where these things are coming from. And all through the commanding heights of our economy, look at the military. Who is in charge? Clearly in charge of the military. You might have somebody from the south who is at the top of the architecture, but who are below him? You get into immigration, the same thing. You get into customs, the same thing. You get into DSS, the same thing. Somebody from the north kills somebody from Ebonyi State. He's taken into a police station for questioning. Within 2 hours, orders come from above. He is released from the police station and nothing happens. What does that tell you? Who is in charge? Is it the president that is in charge, or a clique of people from one part of the country are the ones in charge? These are questions that we need to interrogate. These are the truths that we need to tell ourselves. Chioma, who is in charge of Nigeria?
Let's quickly talk about this report for a few minutes. Because of our time, we actually need to go. That the Independence Day bomber Charles Oka is in critical condition, saying that there was a suspected bomb explosion late last night that affected him. He suffered severe smoke inhalation and possibly serious burns. Right now, he's unconscious. This report is coming courtesy of Sahara Reporters. Now, some reports are suggesting that the explosion may be connected to a recent discovery made on Monday, April 14, when a letter was found written by Oka which exposed claims of staged deaths within the prison system. We're also seeing here that CCTV camera with night vision may have actually captured a footage of the individual responsible for planting that explosive device. This looks like some will look at it and say, oh, it looks like somebody is trying to silence this man for whatever reason. Are there people behind him that he knows about, or people that he has, we could say he has their secrets in his hands that do not want him to spill? Then this is happening. Because how do you have a bomb explosion inside of a prison with CCTV cameras and everything, and the amount of security personnel that could actually be moving around? Because this is someone who's a high-profile inmate.
Yes, I think if you examine the story, everything that happened between last night and this morning, it clearly tells you that one, there is sabotage. Two, it's clearly an assassination attempt. You are talking about him exposing the rot in the prison. Also recall that in 2019 he wrote a book, that exposed a lot in the prison, how people were sodomized, how female inmates were impregnated and forced to conduct abortion, to carry out abortion inside prison cells, because they were impregnated by officers of the cell, the wardens and all of that. So if he, as far back as 2019, you are aware that he wrote a book about that. So if he did that in 2019 and he's coming out to say, look, this is what is going on in the prison, then it's clearly, it's a lead to the fact that, look, some people are trying to remove him. Because be it as it may, an inquest might be conducted into the activities of correctional facility officers within that Maiduguri where he served. By the way, he was moved to Maiduguri sometime in March this year. He's serving a life sentence and all of that. But I think he has a very wide contact, to understand or even to learn what goes on in other prisons in the country. So clearly, straight answer to the question, some people are trying to eliminate him because of what he knows.
If indeed this is a situation, because it does look like it, doesn't it really speak to the porosity of our custodial centers, where even the people, because this is a place where you have a whole lot of, you have the prison wardens, policemen, everybody. This person is in a maximum security prison. How did someone with a bomb pass through the gates and come in, or was this an inside job?
Porosity. It's only the correctional center that is porous.
Not just the correctional centers, and that's why I use the word porosity. We can start from our borders to the policing institution in Nigeria.
I was coming to that. Is the CBN not porous? There's an allegation that a certain man employed 2 babes, and he's paying the millions of. Have you heard anything about that again since it made to the fore? We have not. That one is a closed chapter. Is the NMPC not porous? NMPC declared a profit of 3.7, said they used 2.7 trillion for wages and allowances. 2 weeks later, they told us that they are owing 6.8 trillion naira. So $6.8 billion. million or something in that neighborhood, either trillion or but naira, but 6.8. How come you declare profit and you are owing 6.8? So where in Nigeria, there is systemic porosity in Nigeria. Everywhere is porous. And mind you, if you talk about porosity of the correctional facilities, are you aware, didn't you hear, that in parts of Delta State, Warri to be particular, prisoners are let go and armed to go and steal at night and come back? They kidnap someone, force the person to pay a certain amount of money, wired into an account somewhere, and when they trace that account, they discover the person didn't even know. The person thought that he or she was discussing with somebody that lived in faraway US. Meanwhile, the person was someone that was serving time in one prison in Delta State. So that is to tell you how low we have. That is, we are in the lowest of our lows in this country. And if it gets worse than that, honestly, I don't know what will become of us.
How do we come out? Can we ever come out? It's 2027, a chance to rewrite history. President Tinubu's allies and even some PDP governors that support him have been saying 2027, Babakari they go. Why many Nigerians are saying, no, do not allow this APC to carry us, go where we don't know, past 2027. A lot of people see it as an opportunity to rewrite Nigeria's history and elect someone who just has the people at heart, while others see it as another opportunity to grab it, snatch it, and run away with it.
Those people that are supporting the president want to line their pockets. It is the call of Nigerians to decide whether this rascality should continue. The call of
Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians feel very disgruntled and apathetic right now and feel that in 2027 they don't even want to be a part of the process because they don't want to experience the heartbreak of being a part of the process and then seeing it just dissolve.
It is one thing to lose, you want to lose, another to take together.
So you advise Nigerians to do the latter?
To take their destiny to their hands. And there are several ways you can do that. Go and register, go and vote. Your vote counts. Elect responsible people that you trust, people that you know they have history, they have antecedents, people who have records, people who went to school, people who served as government and up until this moment EFCC has never investigated them, people who don't have scandals outside this country. And there is only one people, it's not only one person, we have many Nigerians with such clean records. So why can't we get such people into us? Why do we have to? I mean, we have spent the better part of 2 years defending what this person is and what he is not. And at the end of the day, governance suffers. We have been trying to stop a certain country from releasing information about certain people because some people say if you release those information, it is going to damage our reputation and character and integrity. What is that all about? Must we dwell in that? Why can't we bring somebody who doesn't have a blemish? Let the person run the system so that we concentrate in building a greater country.
Thank you, Mr. Chukuma. It's time for us to go. We will never get tired of calling on the federal government to do right by Nigerians. It's not about coming and giving us different rhetorics and telling us we're on top of the situation when all indications point otherwise. Insecurity, economic hardship ravaging Nigerians. There is only so much that the people can take. We are not calling for violence, but we are calling for the government to take accountability and ensure that whatever opinion, whatever policies, rather, whatever reforms that they are actually introducing is not to the detriment of Nigerians. Mr. Okori, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that President Tinubu will return to Nigeria today amid criticism. Protest breaks out in Jos over plateau killings. Baba Ahmed insists no candidate can win presidency without northern support. And Vatican announces death of Pope Francis, aged 88. That is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share And Chukwu Okike we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move.